Benjamin, Anfield, Johnstone, and this is my lockdown vlog edition number 3. So, today has arrived 100 days on since the last Premier League game, and we are back to it. Premier League football is returning, and I cannot believe it. I'll be totally honest, I did not see this day coming. I said to many people, just cut the season off. Wherever you finished in the league, just cut the season there. We'll just have a shortened season and we'll just deal with it. Because my justification was, what we're dealing with is so unprecedented. Other sports such as the NBA have had shortened seasons before, and I thought to myself that would probably just be the best thing. But the Premier League, the government, have somehow managed to sort it out, and it's done. Yeah, Premier League football is back. The Championship will follow as well. And yeah, unbelievable. I cannot believe this is happening. Obviously, just under an hour's time, we'll see Aston Villa take on Sheffield United, which will be the first game. And I'm going to say this with quite a bold confidence. If it comes back to bite me, so be it. But Sheffield United are going to win the first game of this Premier League restart. They are Premier League Project Restart. Sheffield United are going to win the first game of it because they will beat Aston Villa at Villa Park. I think Sheffield United are just having an unbelievable season. Where they are in the league is, I thought they were going to go down. You looked at that squad, I just thought they'll go down because last in the Premier League, I just thought the same thing was going to happen. They didn't really sign anyone. Yeah, they've got some good players. I mean, for me, their best player is their goalkeeper, Dean Henderson. And I just thought, but no, that they've done well. Villa are just on an absolute decline. And the fixtures that they've coming up, I do think Villa will go down. I do. I mean, Dean Smith, as I throw him, I think he's really been found out. I don't think he's a Premier League quality manager. To be honest with you, I don't really think he's a Championship quality manager. I'm going to be totally honest. I think he's literally been given the time because Villa have been up and down over the last couple of years and been a bit of a mess. But I do not think he will be Aston Villa manager come next season. No, he's not going to be manager. I just don't see it. But yeah, unbelievable that the Premier League's on a restart. I mean, absolutely just remarkable. Bundesliga's restarted. You've seen games in Italy. Just unbelievable. So I'd really take my hat off to the Premier League. You've done an unbelievable job. You've made me eat my words because I just thought it would be safer to just cancel everything. Not cancel it, but just kind of confirm it now. Do it the points per game basis. And basically, it just gives you restart this, then start a new season in August, which would have gave you just under 6 months to kind of get things under control. I mean, we're 3 months better off than we were in March, so imagine what would have happened if we'd got to like end of August, start of September. So that was my theory behind it. But you know, we're back and we'll see the running. But the first game of the Premier League restart, Sheffield United to beat Aston Villa, and I'm going to go 2-0. Sheffield United beat Aston Villa 2-0 at Bramall Lane just before Christmas, and I think it'll be the same result. We'd follow that up, which could be a huge game in Liverpool's history, Arsenal Man City at the Etihad. And if Arsenal win, then we beat Everton on Sunday in the Merseyside derby, and I'm going to use my head and not my heart. Man City will win this evening. They'll win this evening. I'm going to probably say about 2-0 as well. I know Man City absolutely outplayed Arsenal at the Emirates again just before Christmas. No winning. I mean, they've got their record against Manchester City away is awful. I mean, they've really had some bad days there. Was it like 6-3 in 2013? They've lost a couple of games 3-1, but it's the performance where you've just been like, that literally could have been like 6 or 7-1. I think, if I'm not mistaken, like they lost 2-1 and completely bottled it in the second half. So yeah, Arsenal have only won once at the Etihad in they won 2-0, didn't they, in 2015. The results there haven't been great since they've only won there once. I could be mistaken, but uh, I don't see Arsenal getting a result at the Etihad, which is devastating because obviously if Arsenal won and then we beat Everton, then we win the league. But us winning the league is going to happen. No one can doubt that. So whether it's against Everton or Crystal Palace a couple of days later, so be it. We've had to wait an extra couple of months, an extra couple of days won't matter too much either. Consider years, but yeah, that's my view on that one. With regards to the championship, I'm glad that's going to kind of carry on. I think people realise in football, in a footballing sense, and I would probably say just in sport in general in this country, it's this, but it's at the and then League One and League Two is just like, yeah, I think the right decision was made for those 2 seasons to do the points per game to the playoffs, because you can't in League Two teams to come back. Teams that are in mid-table. I mean, I'll just take Carlisle for example. Carlisle United in League Two were 20 points above Stevenage and Macclesfield playoffs. So Carlisle's season was pretty much done anyways. Asking them to come back for these 9 games, get a couple more points, maybe move up the league a little bit, but they weren't going to get into the playoffs and they weren't going to go down. So yeah, I think the right decision was made on that, and I think it also just kind of says what kind of status those 2 leagues are at respectively. And I'm not trying to diss them, I'm really, really not, but it is national breaks. We've got League One and League Two games. And we've got like Exeter versus no those games unless you're a Leyton Orient fan or an Exeter fan. Do you know what I mean? It's awful when international football's on, because apart from when international football is on a Sunday at like 4 o'clock and they've got Exeter Leyton Orient, you're just really, it's awful. And I think people are now realising that. I know this is probably going to come across really harsh and horrible to fans who support teams that are in those respective leagues, but it's just and listen, League One has provided some great teams. I mean, Wolves went all the way down to League One, bounced straight back up. We've seen Norwich, we've seen Southampton, we've seen Leicester, we've seen Leeds, we've seen we've seen these teams go into that league, and it does make it entertaining. I mean, I'm from Carlisle originally, and you see, I've got to see Carlisle play teams that I never thought I'd see them play, because a couple of years before that they were playing in the Premier League. Do you know what I mean? I've had the chance to go to Ellen Road, the Valley, Carrow Road, watching Carlisle United, not Liverpool, watching Carlisle United. And these teams have gone on to the Premiership, and some were in the Premiership and come back down, or made their way back up. And I just think it's just one of those where we've got to realise that they're the two. Like, the Premier League is just a monster itself, it's just a beast. And the Championship is there. The other two just don't really matter. I mean, I can't really put it any more simpler than that, really. I just think that's the way I look at it, and people can disagree with me, but the right decision was made. Points per game basis, and get straight into the playoffs and get those seasons finished. And teams that haven't got the points that they needed, I'm speaking mostly about Sunderland in League One, then that's your problem. I mean, you completely bottled it last year. The amount of games in hand you've had, and you just threw it away. And this season, you were throwing it away before you could throw it away. So it's just been utterly insane. The fact that Sunderland are going to spend another season in League One is just mental. I mean, got to mention this Bolton. I mean, League Two next year. It's just unbelievable. What 2004 they were in a League Cup final, playing the UEFA Cup, beating teams Liverpool, Man United, and now they're going to start next season in League Two. It's just insane. Be a club that will come back stronger, and they'll definitely come back stronger from this for sure. Kind of basically probably walk the league next year. They'll have the best squad. There's no doubt about it. They'll have the best squad, and when teams go to play them at, I know it's the Macron Stadium. No, it's not even the Macron Stadium anymore. It's the University of Bolton Stadium. I just like to call it the Reebok. That's what I grew up knowing it as. But when teams go to play at the Reebok, they'll take a huge following. Bolton will be the biggest team in that league, and I expect them to come straight back next season. Sunderland should finally get over the line and get promoted from League One, but we'll have to see about that one, because if Middlesbrough get relegated from the Championship, that'll be very interesting, because I would then arguably, who's the biggest club in that division at that point? Is it Middlesbrough? Is it Sunderland? It probably would be Sunderland, but Middlesbrough are a big club, so it'll be interesting. But no, the right decisions were made on those two leagues. The Championship, good. Leeds and West Brom, in my opinion, will get automatic. Fulham will go through via the playoffs, and the Premier League restarting. So glad to see that happening. Talking about football and staying with football, the other thing I wanted to talk about was obviously last Friday. If we weren't dealing with a global pandemic, the European Championships would have started, and last night we should have been seeing possibly one of the games of the competition, and that was Germany versus France at the Allianz Arena in Munich. And would let us see the team that, in my opinion, will win the European Championships in 2021. I think I just don't think anyone's going to beat this team in a tournament as a World Cup or a European Championship at this moment in time with their squad. Yeah, they didn't do great in that League Nations thing. Obviously, I know they didn't get to the semi-finals in the group that they were in, but they just up. So I'm not using that as an excuse, but let's be honest. If England had won the World Cup in 2018, then we finished bottom of our group with Croatia and Spain, I don't think anyone would have been crying. So, yeah, I just think France's squad is just unbelievable. I mean, they've got two world-class goalkeepers, in my opinion. Hugo Lloris can be a bit of a clown sometimes, but I think in general, he is a very, very good goalkeeper. And then you've obviously got Aurelio as well. The defence with Varane, Laporte, who obviously doesn't have an international cap yet, but that's only a matter of time. You've got Benjamin Pavard, who for me scored the best goal I've ever seen in a World Cup. That volley against Argentina was just on another level. A midfield with Matuidi and to turn it on when he plays for France. Kante, and then you've obviously got the two superstars up front with the man who is just going to be, for me, the world for possibly the next decade, and that's in Kylian Mbappe. There's no doubt about it. That man is he's just gonna sweep everything, Ballon d'Ors, everything. I would love to see him in a Liverpool shirt in the future. Got this. We'll have to see on that one, but he's just something else. And yeah, I said they would win the World Cup in 2018, and they did. They'll win the European Championships next year. Don't get me wrong, with Portugal and Germany, and which other team, which I truly believe will be Iceland, because of the way that because if Romania win Group A, it's Romania, but if Romania don't win it, but I think Iceland will be in that group with them. I do. No, sorry, not Iceland. A team from Group D. which I think it could be Kosovo. I've looked at the group there, and I think it could be Kosovo could easily get to the European Championships, and win those games that they need to win to get into it. So if they're in it, but I do think France will win the European Championships. I mean, everyone's a lot of England fans are talking about football's coming home. Or football's coming home next year. Well, yeah, it is coming home. England are playing all 3 games at Wembley. Yeah, but that's the only reason why football's coming home. For me, England might get to the quarterfinals, semi-finals, max. They're not winning it, and they're not getting to the final. So there we go. But yeah, I think England have got a lot of issues to deal with. Is Southgate going to stay long term? We haven't really decided on our goalkeeper. Jordan Pickford is not England's number 1 anymore. He's had that moment. It's gone. I don't know what's happened to him. He seems to have went to the World Cup 2018. Thinks he's the big I am. He's came back. He's been worse than ever. He was better when he was at Sunderland. When he was playing with worse players and a worse manager. It would not surprise me in the summer if Carlo Ancelotti signs a goalkeeper to challenge Pickford. But he will not start England's first game. He's not starting England's first game against Croatia in a year's time. Nope. I'll be amazed if he does. So our midfield's a bit of a mess. Who's playing? This thing with Harry Winks and all these other dilemmas. I think the defence is sorted, but that could easily go awry. But for me, France are the team to beat. If England win it, that'd be absolutely amazing. But for me, if someone gave me £1 million, I had to bet on a team to win the European Championships next summer, it's France. Easily, by a country mile, for me, France are going to win it. So yeah, there we go. There were just a couple of things I wanted to talk about. But no, it's been 100 days since we've seen Premier League football in action, when Aston Villa got beat off Leicester 4-0. And fast forward 100 days and we see Aston Villa again. I do think they're going to get beat. The sea, but no, very pleased that Premier League football is back, and we should have the European Championships on at the moment, but we're basically getting Premier League football every single day, more or less, for this month and up until July. So listen, gonna turn a negative into a positive. That's what we're doing. Hats off to the Premier League. Bring it on, and let's just enjoy it. And yeah, happy days are here again. But yeah. Like, subscribe or comment, and thanks for watching. Cheers now. Bye guys. Bye.